All right.
Welcome to Unspool September 2014. We have a very special guest with us this month.
Our first guest.
Yes. Mike Battle.
Mike the Battle.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
And we've mentioned Mike Battle in the last podcast because he is the Simpsons Lego couch gag creator. And I worked with him, and we know each other from college, from RIT.
Co-creator, Scott. Don't dismiss your contribution.
Scott needs to work on his promotion.
I appreciate the humility, but you know, he co-creator.
Yeah.
Going on.
So John and I talked last about, you know, the fact that we spent our Saturday nights not chasing tail, but instead making movies with friends and
downloading fonts and animating homemade Space Ghost figures.
Trying to make our films in high school. Is that a similar scenario? How did you end up at RIT Film School?
Yes, when my dad got his first video camera, I broke it as soon as possible, making videos. I actually tried to splice an 8mm videotape. I got an old film book on splicing and used some Scotch tape.
Must be the way this goes.
Oh yeah, and but ever since then I fell in love. No, my filmmaking experience was just same thing. Me and my friends would screw around. I was pretty much always trying to keep them serious and making films, but same thing. I mean, Saturday nights we were at a campfire hanging out, chilling out, or coming up with the next big movie idea. You know, if anything, you know, I didn't even know there's parties going on in high school. Let's just put it that way. But now I'm cool. No, it was fun. And then RIT is so close to home, so I found my way there. And I actually went to school for illustration to start with. So.
Oh, that's right.
And then I saw Rob Stone, my roommate, and he switched his major actually, and then he switched his major after 1 year, and then I went to one of his screenings, and that's when I saw the film department. I thought, this is cool, because it's so small and intimate, and everyone's really supportive. So yeah, by the time I graduated, I was like, get me out of here. Not because of RIT, but just 6 years of college.
You're done.
I'm not a doctor.
Did you enjoy it? I mean, did you have fun at RIT?
I had fun, yes. I had fun because you were able to make your own stuff. That was definitely fun. But it's for me, it's always about the people. I always enjoy the social element and doing things with other people. So.
You know, we talked a little bit on the first one about how it's kind of cool and like almost, I don't know if it's unique, but it's so many of us, especially from like our years, our era, all came out here. And I mean, until today, I hadn't seen you in a long time, but we still, there's Facebook and everyone's still out here kind of working and hanging out. It's neat that there's a whole...
Yeah, it was like a big wave. Our wave was like
specifically
huge.
It was
and
massive.
It's really cool. And I'm just happy to see everybody that, you know, made the drive and made it work. And it's really great to catch up.
Still out here doing stuff.
Yeah.
You've been out here since 2003, I think?
So almost 11 years. Yeah.
What are you up to? What are you working on these days?
For job, I'm over at The Simpsons at Film Roman. And I've been doing that for probably, I'm going on just about my 10th season. I started off in production just to get in the studio, and then I got into the color department. So I'm doing.
That's awesome.
What are the different? Because you know it's animation. What is production for The Simpsons?
Oh, so my job when I was the coordinator, I was in charge of a report. One of my reports actually was to go around to all the artists and figure out how much work they're doing in a week, and you know that's obviously not. People don't like you. You know, putting a number to their workload. Yeah. So I was kind of in that, you know, automatically disliked position of like you know, there's this animosity, well, you know, at least rumored animosity between the production side and the artist side, because the production side obviously
it's
wants
always, wherever you go, it's always production versus post.
Yeah, so but I felt like they did a good job of kind of bridging that, you know, those two departments, you know, and kind of keeping it real and being cool, and just, you know, if some of the artists they would plead to me sometimes. I've always felt bad, like, oh, like, you know, these two scenes were really hard, whereas somebody else probably got a lot of easy scenes, so their number's going to be higher than mine. And I'm like, and I would kind of fudge the numbers a little bit. That was back in the days when you.
But it's not like someone at the end of the week, you're not going to be like, oh, this guy only did whatever, you know, such and such, and then like whoever's got the lowest number, you let go. It's not.
I don't know how it's done now because it actually changed radically after I moved on into the art side. So at the time there was a lot more flexibility, and I mean, I was even like told like just fudge the numbers so they equal this number. So if you like if nothing if everything wasn't accounted for, like so many scenes, like hey, we're missing 6 scenes after I totaled all the artists' numbers, I would kind of round up certain people's numbers so they weren't looking so inferior to others. But then there was also this thing where you had to work on so many scenes in a show to get a credit, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
Like I think that's just not cool. I think if you work on something, you should be credited for it. I know on the movie they were, I think they based it on how many hours you put in to the, from your time card. Yeah, and then depending on when you get credit. I had my coworker, she didn't get a credit. She was pretty upset about that. And she worked maybe a couple days, but I don't know. I just think
that sucks because if you work on something, you want a credit.
Well, it's one thing.
It's also not your business necessarily making your own schedule, so you're probably pumped when you work on something.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, everyone wanted to work on that too, so I'm sure everyone wanted to be credited for working on that. It was kind of a milestone, regardless of how the outcome how it was received. It was still like Simpsons movie. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, I was lucky to even be pulled onto that project. That was kind of a like, hey, you're not busy. You want to help out getting the skeleton crew together for the movie? I'm like, yeah, sure. Yes. What do you want me to do? And I just kind of.
Is it as fun as I imagine? Like, just
there's a Simpsons episode when Bart goes to Mad Magazine and like opens the door.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. This thing's everything's crazy. People bounce off the walls. I love the people that I work with. I think that's really what makes work enjoyable. Because work becomes work, even if it's exciting at first. I mean, whenever there's a tour, you kind of fall in love with what you do again because you see how enthusiastic people get about it, and you remember because you kind of, just your job. You kind of get caught in the grind, and then you forget, like, hey, this is important to people, and this is fun. But bottom line, it's just walking in the halls, seeing familiar faces, just some of the most creative people that I'm so like happy to have found myself in the company of, and just being reminded of that on a daily basis. So I'm always like cheerful and saying hi to everyone because I'm excited to see them, and just remember that I'm like, you brought yourself here, and you got here, and it's fun in that regard. Like, that's just cool. Great conversations at the water cooler. Sometimes really serious, inspirational, like creative conversations. Other times just completely immature, ridiculous, and it's kind of like a high school there. Everyone's wearing whatever they want. People's cubicles are full of toys. That's
awesome.
It's surreal. Yeah.
What do you do currently on The Simpsons?
I am officially a color modelist, which if I had to explain that simply, in the color department there's a color modelist and there's a color stylist. And if you think of a stylist as someone who like a hairstylist, you're coming up with the look of something. So when you're color styling, you're inventing the color scheme. A modelist is someone who follows a model. So once the stylist comes up with the scheme, if they need it, we will help follow their model, and we'll just fill in other scenes.
Throughout as the episode goes on.
Yeah, like sometimes it'll get busy, and they're like, hey, here's a scene that I kind of modeled a kind of an overview shot. In this other scene, it's the same area. Can you just pull the colors that I did in this scene and just translate them into this other scene so it's it stays the same, or what we call stock color, which is stock is a term for things that are already known. Korea, who does our animation, they know what the colors are, so they're like Simpsons house, Moe's, like all these places you've visited years before, so they already have that information. So we'll sometimes, to help them out, we'll add that color in and just help make things clearer for them, because that's what we're just giving Korea color guides all day long. We're not coloring the whole show ourselves. We're letting them do that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun because I always joke that I'm making coloring books at work, because the drawings come to us kind of rough, and then we, my coworker Lisa and I, we will clean up the line work to get it to look like almost like a coloring book, nice solid lines, ready for color. And then the stylist will add the color, and if they need us, like I said, to help with the color, we edit in there.
So it's keyframed here, like the artists keyframe the idea, and then in Korea they animate.
Yeah,
it's called the in-betweens or something.
The in-betweens. I mean, they really, how it goes is we do the keyframes. We're still one of the last studios that do layout, like where we do the animation. A lot of studios are only doing like storyboards or a storyboard with some animation. in the panels. But yeah, we'll do the basic keyframes, and then we'll give them color guides based on some of those keyframe scenes, and then send all that material to them, and they actually just start all over and redraw everything, recolor everything, and it comes back to us, you know, fully in color, and goes through a second wave of revisions and stuff like that. It's I would love to go to Korea and just see what it's like there, because it's like how there's an episode in The Simpsons where they're like sleeping under their desks and stuff like that. Like, it's got to be, because the pressure and the time frame that they have is unreal. I always feel a little guilty when we're like slamming them with stuff.
Start to finish, how long does it take to do a whole episode?
Well, they say it takes a year from the beginning of the script writing process to the time that it airs. Mm-hmm. Like 9 months to a year, something of that regard.
But that's with like 12 or 13 others or however many going at once.
Right. Yeah, we have, I think, I don't know the total we have right now, but we used to have about 10 to 12 directors, and they would take on their own show with their own crew of about 8 people animating, and then yeah, everyone was about a week to 2 weeks staggered, so that you're getting like 10 shows in 10 weeks time, or that's how they air every Sunday.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, it's when you look at, that's more the old model of animation, and then you look at someone like South Park just totally reinvented the way things were done.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, kind of through The Simpsons and other productions that were following that older model into like,
how come how come you guys can't do it this way?
Yeah, how come they can do it in 3 weeks or a week or whatever?
Yeah.
You see that
I
documentary?
think they do it in a week.
Yeah, it's nuts. Those guys are nuts.
There was that like a year ago or something where like 2 days before they were supposed to be done, like their power went out for a night and they couldn't get finished because like they run up so close to air.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, and that it's so like topical and like on point. It's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, and a lot of people at my studio would agree. I'm sure I've heard them say, like, we love seeing animation. South Park doesn't have a lot of animation. I mean, these little bits and pieces are bouncing around, but you're not getting these really nice movements and with the characters and stuff like that. So, if you want that, it's obviously going to take a little bit more time.
Sure.
So then you get more gesture, you get more emotion. You guys got to come by for a tour.
That'd be amazing.
I'd love to.
Yeah. It's actually it's really cool. I mean, we don't have the voice actors with us. They're at a lot of the stuff, the writers stuff.
Do they record? They must come there to record, or they record from
they go to the
studio?
Fox lot. Yeah, they're at the Fox lot. That's actually the weird thing about The Simpsons is a lot of productions do things, at the same location. It would be sweet if the writers and the voice actors were in the same building. It'd be
they must go over. The writers and everyone goes over.
Yeah, Gracie, the production company, that's on the lot, and then the voice actors, I just drive on to the lot and do the recording. I still have yet to go to a table read. I would love to see that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Just sitting around.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of joking around and stuff. It's got to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But
they've been with each other
25 years or something? What's crazy?
We are on the 26th season right now.
Yeah.
This is the last contracted season at this point, so we're kind of hoping that by the end of this year we'll know if we're gonna keep going. It's amazing.
It's the longest running, not just animated, longest running
primetime animated. Yeah.
No, I don't even think animated.
I think it's primetime. Yeah, I think you're
primetime.
I think you're right. Thank you for having me, by the way. I am.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I
love listening to the stories, and it's always interesting to see how.
I'm actually just happy to see you.
Me too. Yeah, it's great to just catch up and like hang out.
So so we're here in September, and we try to create a movie every month in some capacity, and we just whatever we end up with at the end of the month, that's what we do, and we have a podcast that kind of explains a wrap up podcast of what worked and what failed, and
at the end of the month after we've finished everything.
It's great idea.
So now
this will be interesting because the first one you and I just sort of shot title sequencey stuff. This is our first like big undertaking.
But first with every special guest,
Scott has an agenda.
With every special guest,
agree.
The guest will create their own title from
a requirement.
Not from the Avid title tool. We're talking like a physical title.
And if they want to write their name on some notebook paper, which would be pretty lame, they could do that.
Yes, and we'll put them in the opening title as our special guest. So that's one thing that you've already got on your plate right there.
I already got it.
All right.
Know what I'm doing.
And then so let's discuss what could be our movie for this month, and we can just kind of brainstorm.
And I would like to put it out there. I'm again going camping this month, and then at the end of the month, I'm going to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and Yellowstone for the weekend. So I'm going to some like pretty locations, if we can incorporate those
into the wild
in any way. Yeah.
Yeah. Away from the things of man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we could do a Lord of the Rings epic, although I'm not going to scale the Grand Tetons in a helicopter, but
and it would. Okay. So
I'm going to scale some other Grand Tetons.
Hello.
What?
Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know. I lost track.
So I let me just start throwing out some ideas. We can kind of come up. I was thinking, I just watched True Detective, and they have a lot of like sort of different time sequences and stuff. And I was wondering if, because you are going to be shooting your own stuff outside.
Well, we can still shoot stuff together too if
Okay.
we have time, but I see what you're saying. Okay.
I was wondering if maybe we could go down like a sort of we could write a 5-page script, like a little short little movie, maybe like a whodunit, and you could film in Wyoming and like you said, the camping at the beach
it's
or whatever.
like woods and beach. And
Yeah, you could do. We could film like your sections as maybe like the flashback sequence of maybe what happened or maybe like you dead on the beach and then Mike Battle and I.
So I'm missing, or I'm like dead, and you guys are what, detectives putting it?
Maybe
A true
I don't
detective?
know. I just thinking like and then while you're filming that, some of those weekends, Mike and I could get together and with another actor or us if we choose, and we could shoot maybe
If you're in like a police station and you're cops or something, and you're like, we got these photos, and it's like a photo, and you're like, what could have happened? And it's like a flashback to what, me on the beach or me walking through the mountains or something.
Sure, or if we get a mysterious videotape that shows up and we plug in the videotape and it's the footage that you shoot while in the beach in Wyoming, and then so we watch it and then either it's like a film noir where we have to save the dame or something, or it's just like a True Detective whodunit about like the footage that you shoot, but we have to figure it out, and it would all be of course scripted out, but that way you could shoot a lot of good elements there, but at the same time
I was just thinking exterior shots, but sure.
Oh, but we could use
yeah, we can.
But that would just facilitate sort of the need that you could shoot some good stuff for us, and we could hash out what the. I don't know. Is this sort of?
Mike's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
No, I'm just trying to follow. It's you. I mean, it's awesome. You're shooting from the hip. It's pretty potent.
Well,
I mean, it's funny. I don't know if this is just what my brain was thinking while you were talking. Was a long time ago, I remember thinking it would be an interesting film, or you can make a shorter or a cheesy romantic comedy, where you have some group of people, whether it be a family or not, taking a photograph, and somebody happens to be in the background somewhere. Not photobombing, but just like,
walking around.
Yeah, on the beach. Like, the perfect example is people all over the place, right? And then somehow that person becomes a character later, and it's revealed, like, holy cow, you were in that photo from years ago. Like, oh, wow, like, that's so weird fate. Like, we were there that same, wow. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to throw you off, but maybe you can use it for your murder mystery thing. Like, but...
like, what if the policeman or whatever it is, they're going through photos, and there's a picture of me, like, this family was hiking and they took this picture and I'm in the background like doing something, and you're like, it's another clue.
Yeah. Where
I just
that was a classic Zarzycki. Yeah. The gears are turning. Sure.
And then where do we go? What is we finding you dead? And this is, or are you in the?
This guy wants to see you dead.
This is what this keeps coming back to.
This is gonna be the podcast's not gonna last very long.
As soon as you said camping, I picture this scene of like going either in the tent, and then you find your corpse there in the tent, and then the detectives are like, oh crap, we got a lot of work ahead of us, and then.
So it starts with finding my dead body in a tent.
Something like that.
Okay.
Or washed up on the beach. And maybe.
I'm just thinking
Can I
how
at
he's
least
gonna
wear
shoot
pants?
this. How are you gonna get washed up on the beach?
Elaine's gonna be like, "This is the worst camping trip."
I know. You're like, this is not what I gotta wait for. To see you washed up on a beach.
But
That'll happen anyway after a few drinks.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
I-
after
I'll
a few
just-
drinks,
I'm
you're
like,
like,
here, I'm
gonna go swimming. I'm like,
couple hours just hit record.
yeah,
every-
exactly.
But you know, if you're at the fireside, you could get some footage of you like happy in the fire, and maybe that's the footage
And
that
then
we're
I
like.
burn up. Is it?
Yeah.
We get
They
the
find
sacrifice him.
my
Yeah.
burnt corpse
Yeah.
in the fires.
the detective doing the research could be maybe he's getting mailed or she would be mailed like these videotapes, and they're trying to piece together like almost like this creepy like who is this psycho that keeps sending me footage of John French, but we see him dead, and then now we're seeing all this footage of him like alive, but they're sending it afterwards.
Wait.
So why is this person sending all
I'm
this?
from the get go. It starts and I'm already dead.
Yeah. So yeah, right.
Sure.
You're not okay. This is
And
better.
and I don't. It's like not like I come back to life ever, or it's not like I turn back up and I was like, oh, I was just on vacation.
We could that could be the end, but I just thought if
But like the evidence keeps coming in and it goes to like flashbacky stuff.
yeah, maybe Mike Battle is right that the clues are left, like the person filming it.
I'm gonna go through like I'm flying, so I can. There's airport stuff I can do too.
Yeah,
Uh-oh. Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
sure. So maybe the detective, we see that he's already been on this case of this dead person, and then some of the footage that is being sent to us is from you traveling, and maybe there's some sort of key, like what Mike Battle's idea is, like something in the background or some sort of thread that
I like Mike's idea about the elements in the back of, because I mean now I'm trying to like weed into the plot, but why do I keep sending videotapes if I'm dead? But that's another plot. Who keeps sending you the evidence? But if it's like photos, like we went through all the hikers that were in, Yellowstone National Park, and go through these photos and see if there's any clues in the background, and then there's like one of me. And
Yeah,
then,
I mean, you could I don't know how complicated this would be.
you
Like
could
an
get Siri-
Instagram, or like how you do the hashtag
yeah,
thing.
like, oh look, he checked in here.
Hashtag, yeah, right,
at
exactly.
3 o'clock.
Get
Like,
some technology in there,
yeah.
like hashtags, Yellowstone Park, and you're like, wait, there's a view of him right there.
So then what's the ultimate outcome? You guys piece the clues together, and I guess there's the flashbacks. And then what does that lead you to? You just figure out how I died, and I guess, like, so how do I die? Or am I dead? Are you guys cops? Or private investigators? Because maybe there's something seedier going on. Am I playing myself or like a guy named Bob? I have lots of questions, I guess.
I'm not too keen on the murder mystery theme, but
Okay.
I had one thought I had. I'm not keen. Maybe that's the wrong word. Does that mean I don't like it? Right? I'm just not familiar with the murder mysteries.
Why is Mike here?
I know.
All right, go with it, Mike.
Door closes, car starts,
Yeah.
drives away.
Edit this part out.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Please edit that out. No. The What if it starts off that whoever the detective is just getting stuff mailed instead of being assigned to this case? What if things just start showing up on his desk, and along with the viewer, you're right alongside the detective trying to figure out what this is all about. Like you're getting these random photos emailed or like dropped on his desk or whatever.
Yeah, however they
And
show
you
up.
realize it's a case. You know what I mean? Like instead of it being this obvious, like here, find out about what happened to this guy. Like you're just like in
There's
your
more mystery to it.
yeah, like you're doing like he's on his computer or whatever, and then like a little note, like an inner office note
Bloop.
folder shows up. Yes, I don't know, something.
What if it's not even a detective? What if it's a friend of the victim or something, and the person's just
Yeah, it's just some.
dude, or maybe it's a completely random stranger, and then all of a sudden he gets this email with something creepy that shouldn't be there, and he's like, did I just get emailed? Who emailed me a picture of a dead
He's
guy?
like, why
And
are
then
there
it
all these
doesn't-
pictures of John French washed up on a beach?
But they're awesome.
Looks like his iCloud was hacked also.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a shot of John French burning, a shot of John French dead in a tent, a shot of dead John French on the beach. It's awesome. But what if it's what's if a perfect stranger and maybe they get involved with this might be more interesting than
More, yeah.
cop drama. Maybe it's like they're forced to be involved, and it's almost like they get, I don't know. There's been plots like that with
Somebody is researching a place he wants to go on vacation, get some webcam footage, like
Sexy webcam footage.
Yeah. No, some like how you can log into certain webcams, not webcams, but like like
a high altitude
yeah,
place.
and you can control it or something like that.
Or
Yeah,
things like that. Yeah.
And that's when he sees something that it's kind of like what was that movie with Jimmy Stewart?
Rear Window.
Yeah, with the
when he's in the
telescope.
apartment the whole time.
Yeah. And you're controlling it.
Or that could, that's just another piece. Like it's like one of the evidence is like, all right, well he was last seen here. Check all the webcams in that area, and then they roll on it. They find a piece of that.
That's an option.
So then, am I dead at the end? Scott wants me to end up dead or buried in a pile of floppy disks.
I was thinking lighthearted,
well,
happy-go-lucky, skipping along the beach.
We can go that
falling
route
in love
too.
with Mother Nature on a hike.
What if it's a hoax? Like you keep getting all these dead pictures.
Blair
of
Witch
me,
Project
but it's
stuff?
just like I come back like, did you guys see what an awesome vacation I had? Man, I passed out in so many weird places.
Yeah.
That could be it.
That could be funny.
We could build it as a suspense of somebody keeps sending us these photos, or sending some guy these photos, and they think there's a real murder going on, and oh my god, I can't believe this person. And then you could show up and be like, dude, what'd you think about my
vacation, or did you get all my pictures?
My girlfriend took these pictures of me. I was trashed most of the time. I don't know.
So then the girlfriend sent it.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
because the mystery is who's sending the pictures.
Yeah.
Where's this stuff coming from?
She's playing a joke on him by capturing all these embarrassing.
And maybe that's why it's confusing, because maybe the first picture comes in, you're like, all right, this picture's dated Thursday, and he's dead on Thursday. But then the webcam footage comes in, and he's like, well, he's still alive on Saturday. Who is this? What's going on? And how can he keep being dead and alive? And that's why the mystery. They're trying to piece it together.
Yeah, the photos shouldn't be so far away. Some of them should be kind of closer range.
Yeah.
So you're like, what the
and
heck?
what if there was webcam footage where you're walking, and I'm like, oh, that that the person says, oh, I see this guy and he's alive, and then maybe you stumble and fall, and you're like, oh my god, somebody just killed him. Or,
did he just get shot?
Yeah. I don't know. That might be kind of interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
And we could try to build the suspense, and at the end it would, hey dude, I had a wild time.
That's good, because that's two pretty good locations. You got your multiple locations on vacation, but then the other one's just in a room or an office.
Sure.
That's pretty easy.
Office kind of thing or whatever by a computer.
Things just keep coming in.
And then at the end I'll just come through with a bag and be like, man, what a crazy vacation. Did you get all the pictures?
So obviously the guy knows John French.
Yeah, maybe it's his. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah, right. Because it would have to be if that was the story. If the girlfriend.
Or unless the girlfriend got the email address wrong.
Oh, that would be funny. And and instead, she types in the wrong name, and it sends it to some old contact that only was ever emailed some random person. That just happened to be in the address book or something.
But then how do you resolve?
I don't know.
Yeah, how's the reveal?
Maybe the person has. The person.
What if you drive that person crazy and they decide to go out on a mission to help save that person? They drive off and that's how you leave that character.
He never comes back.
You just ruin their life. They're gonna go see if they can solve the mystery, and then you just come home.
And then at the end, I'm back from the vacation. I'm like, what a great vacation.
Yeah,
I check
exactly.
my email. My old friend Jimmy died. I haven't talked to him in a long time. Wow, he was just in Wyoming. I was just there.
He legitimately died on his way to save you. Or to look into your death.
I think that's cool.
I like the straight character getting driven to
slowly
worry.
mad.
Yeah, oh my god, what's going on? But you
ultimately
never give them the
ends
satisfaction of knowing what really happened. That's funnier
that poor guy.
than actually wah wah.
I like
Let's
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's put some words on a page and let's do it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So
all right.
By the end of September.
Yeah.
We'll have put this together.
Yeah. For good or for fail, we'll get it done.
Some sort of variation of this, I guess.
What do you think? We got it?
I'm in.
All right.
Mike Battle?
I'm in. Let's do this.
All right.
This is fun.
This is great. All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salute.